Hey guys, I am Dr. Ruby. A little bit about me. I have my PhD in teaching and learning, and then I did 13 years at the college level training teachers to teach reading, but also part of my job was to help them write their teaching philosophy, not to have a paper, but to internalize a kind of process. Hold on, I gotta go get the squelch.
So it seems to me to be a good idea to give you a brief overview of what you can expect in this course. I do a lot of different kinds of things from A to Z, starting out with just giving you a link to some free materials or very, very inexpensive materials online that you can use to read and listen to as you prepare to write your own teaching philosophy. You can begin thinking about some of the ideas associated with writing a teaching philosophy. I try to make this as easy as possible for you and as convenient so that you can even do some of your work on the go. I set up the beginning of the course by sharing with you a set of course guiding questions. These are key because as you have these in your brain, you're actually using them when you listen and read the materials I give you. You'll automatically start answering some of the questions as you listen to and read through some of the stuff in the course. So it just kind of gives your brain like a flashlight as you're working through. Now, the bulk of the beginning part of the course is me teaching you about all of the different paradigms or schools of philosophy, and sometimes they're even called psychologies. And I take the essential content that I found in the readings, and I basically teach them to you in a way that makes it very visual. I use a lot of mnemonic devices, little images to help you remember what that essential content is, so that later on you can use that information as part of your own teaching philosophy. I use repetition, and I also use kind of like little quizzes at the end of each section to help you become more active as you're learning, to offer this up to you and say, hey, do you remember what we just talked about? What are the three main ideas that are associated with understanding what a paradigm is? I introduce you to the 11 paradigms with which I am familiar and the paradigms that are mentioned in the 2 sources I share with you for reading. I give each one a really different vibe, a different feel, so that you can easily distinguish between them when it's time to write. After I've taught a particular paradigm, we go back and do some active matching. So it's a PowerPoint presentation where you listen and watch along with me as I match the essential content to each of the course questions. It's just another way to help get that information into your brain in a lasting way. I made sure to go out on the internet and research what the most modern paradigm is, and it's called connectivism. I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I sure do now, and it makes a lot of sense based on our world that is so connected to technology all the time. So I'll share all about connectivism with you, and I'll even kind of walk you through how I incorporate some of these ideas into my own personal teaching philosophy. After I teach each paradigm, I'll offer you a video clip, either one that you can click on in the Resources Center to go out and watch on YouTube, or some of them I even incorporate right into the course. Inside Out is one of my favorite movies to share, which goes with cognitivism, and then there's also an awesome clip from Sherlock on BBC. So this is a way to give you a real-life look at how this paradigm might function in the real world or in a fictional world like Sherlock, because he's just my favorite, even though he can be a little grumpy. At the end of all of the paradigms, I start walking you through how I write my teaching philosophy. The first thing I do is I printed out a set of flashcards that go with all of the paradigms, and I simply sort through them. And you'll watch me do this at the end of each paradigm that I teach. Toward the end, you'll begin to notice that I'm trying to pare it down to a manageable number of ideas to incorporate into my own teaching philosophy. I also spend some time going through the cards, showing you, modeling for you how I pull specific phrases and words from the individual paradigms to use in my final teaching philosophy. And then I share with you my process for putting all of these into paragraph form. I show you how to come up with a unique thesis statement. I even use visuals to help show you how my idea for my thesis statement runs through every single paragraph that I write, and how to write really good topic sentences to let your reader know what each paragraph is going to contain, as well as some transition words to help your reader get from one paragraph to another without it feeling too clunky. And the final step is to show you my final outline with my topic sentences and small icons to show you the phrases and words that I pulled from each individual paradigm. And you get a chance to see how all of these different ideas from different time periods and different paradigms can mesh and come together in a well-written teaching philosophy. And I will share with you the rubric I use when I grade my students' work. And of course, I'll give you an offer to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can follow some of the videos that I create on individual learning theories like Bloom's taxonomy and Maslow's hierarchy of needs and instructional scaffolding and all the modern theories that are really useful to help you think about your future classroom. All of my individual paragraphs, of course, come with an example from my real life teaching. Now, if you're a brand new teacher, it's going to be really hard for you to come up with scenarios to add to your teaching philosophy. But the advice I gave my students is just think of the best teachers you've had from the past and try to capture in thick description what you will do when you get your own classroom so that you can incorporate some of those ideas in a really active way, showing your reader that you're not just saying that you're progressive or that you honor connectivism. You're painting a picture for them to help them see what it's going to look like in your future classroom. A well-written philosophy statement is a shoe-in to help you get a great job. And lastly, if you are interested in having me grade your paper, you can scoot on over to my website, drjulierubinacci.com, and find out how.
Two little worms, they are best friends. They hug and they hug until the end. The bottom makes a triangle, the blue goes down. Through and back up, he's the talk of the town. Then they pull so tight, they both know what to do. The blue makes a loop, and you do too. Red comes around and your pointer finger shows an itty bitty cake.